Hi, I'm Saoirse Ronan and I play Jo March.
Hi, I'm Timothy and I play Laurie.
Hey, I'm Laura and I play Marmee.
And I'm Greta, and I wrote the screenplay, and I directed this movie, and this is Notes on a Scene.
Sit down, Laurie.
Latin is a privilege. Please, you have to learn this. I can't afford to lose this position. Just return to the Cicero.
There's a girl out there.
No, there is not.
Yes, Mr. Brooke, there's a girl.
No, there is not.
Oh, there is a girl. That's a girl.
So this is in Theodore Lawrence, Laurie Lawrence's house with his tutor, John Brooke. And Timothy came up with this idea that he would be standing on a chair. And it was a good idea. It was funny. We wanted the Lawrence house to be very grand and masculine and not cozy. But it was actually an interesting thing because the way that we structure the movie, we start in adulthood and that's one timeline and childhood is another timeline. I wanted childhood to have this golden glow, so we shot with a very specific filter, and it kind of worked against the coldness of the Lawrence house because it still had the golden glow of childhood. But so what we wanted to do was give it scale and density that would kind of impart that same coldness without actually having cold color, because we wanted to save that for the adult section.
Hello there! Are you hurt?
I'm Amy.
Hello, Amy. I'm Laurie.
I know, you brought my sister back after the dance. I would have never have sprained my ankle. I have lovely small feet, the best in the family. But I can never go home again because I'm in such trouble. Look, Mr. Davis hit me.
Amy is fleeing because she's been hit by her teacher and she knows she's going to be in trouble. So she's running over to this house because she doesn't want to go home. And she's very sad.
I was there when you shot that scene.
Oh, yeah.
And she did it 20 times, one after the other. It was amazing. And every single time it was hilarious. And she just made it bigger and bigger every single time.
Yeah, I like in actors in general, and Florence in particular, I like actors who can go almost too big.
Yeah.
I find it really fun because I find then I want the thing either right before or right after the one that's pushed too far, but you kind of have to fling that way to get the thing that's interesting.
Tell the servants I want this painting purchased for me immediately.
My hand, look.
Joe.
What richness.
It hurts so much.
Oh, Theodore Lawrence, you ought to be the happiest boy in the world.
Oh, a fellow can't live on books alone.
I could. What did you do?
Nothing, I did nothing. I did a drawing and then Mr. Davis hit me.
This is one of those scenes where I have almost everyone in the room at once, and here they all start to enter. And this sounds really boring to say because obviously I'm very proud of how this scene was blocked.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually really hard to block scenes with this many people and figure out all of the ways that they're moving. And I could only do it because they memorized their lines so precisely that it was one of those scenes that was like a hot potato handoff.
Mm-hmm. We rehearsed all of these overlapping scenes a lot in rehearsals, but then also with this one in particular, I remember it was a new location for all of us. Mm-hmm. We were used to being in the March house, which was smaller, and we kind of knew our way around it. So this was our first time shooting on this location, all of us together.
And I think that familiarity with the setting, or unfamiliarity with the setting, is important because we knew that March house so well by the second week of the shooting or before. And that one, it felt as austere, maybe that's not the right word, but as, everything Greta was communicating before felt properly anonymous.
Christopher Columbus, look at that.
It's my grandfather. Are you scared of him?
No, I'm not scared of anyone. He looks stern, but my grandfather was much more handsome.
Joe, we do not compare grandfathers.
Laura enters just there and has her line just there. And it was this timing of getting everyone to kind of be exactly where we needed them to be. And I remember this was my partner, Noah Baumbach always said this was his favorite line. Joe, we do not compare grandfathers. I don't know. It was for him, it killed him. And then he saw it in the cut and he was like, it's hilarious.
You think he's more handsome, eh?
Oh, no, actually, you are very handsome.
I knew your mother's father. You've got his spirit.
Oh, well, thank you, sir.
I'm saying this as an outsider who was not part of Lady Bird, how no wonder she brought these two actors together, because watching the two of you on screen together, or watching you both act, it's you just hurl every cell out. I mean, it's just so beautiful.
I know.
It's so do you.
I know.
To watch.
Look, I like people who leave it all on the floor.
Yeah, so beautiful.
You are not to attend that school anymore.
Good, that man has always been an idiot.
Joe will teach you.
Me? I already teach Beth.
You're a good teacher.
Yes, women being taught at home is much more proper, I believe.
Only because the schools for women are so poor.
Indeed. Quite right.
I wish all the girls would leave his horrible school and that he would die.
Amy, you did wrong, and there will be consequences.
I didn't. I didn't even do anything. I just did a drawing.
Well, thank you so much for taking care of our Amy.
Yes, of course.
My girls have a way of getting into mischief.
Well, so do I.
Well, then you'll run over and we'll take care of you.
Please, and come over whenever you'd like. Invite your sister Beth as well.
We blocked it and rehearsed it sort of like a dance for, I would say, like an hour on and off.
Yeah.
And then we went away, they set up the whole thing, and then we came in and shot for the whole day.
Well, what's particularly amazing as we're watching here is as she's defining the movement, this dance for this part of the film, every single moment, every move comes with a new dynamic of a different relationship.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, here, Timmy and I are establishing this maternal nature that's being presented to him that he doesn't have in his life. You have John Burke and Meg's sort of first flirtations. You and the girls are dealing with Amy's sort of impetuousness and her stuff.
Yeah.
Their dynamic. Chris, who's sort of a lovely sort of paternal figure in a way to all of us, and even me as someone who has the man who's left the home, but he's this neighbor overseeing us all. So that was an amazing thing. We were having to pay service to about 20 different dynamics.
That's true. And it was this kind of like everyone's noticing a different thing. So Laurie's in love with Joe. Joe's in love with books. She's mad and annoyed at Amy. Meg is sympathizing with Amy, but Meg's also noticing John. John is really noticing Meg. Like all of these dynamics that keep shifting and kind of being inside of the emotionality of each character as they're moving around each other. It's a trick of not just where are you putting the camera, it's where are you putting your emotion with everyone? Because what you want to feel at the end of it is that you were in the room and you felt everything that everyone was feeling.
And I love your filmmaking in this scene because it's like you never let the camera totally be at rest with it. Life is messy. You feel all these things, but it's not suddenly the director's choice to go, hey guys, notice this moment. It will be important later. It's just so fluid, which is gorgeous.
I like things that kind of pass you by.
Yes, Beth would adore the piano.
Is she the quiet one?
Yes, that's our Beth.
Tell the little girl to use our piano.
And Joe, borrow whatever book you'd like.
Can I come look at the paintings?
Yes. There's also a lovely greenhouse.
We must go, girls.
Mr. Lawrence,
I'm going to take this. I'm going to take this one, if that's okay. Bring it back soon. I promise. Thank you. Well, actually, I don't know. I'll probably take my hair. Thank you.
Thank you again.
Oh, Miss Meg, you forgot your glove.
Well, back to work.
So this dynamic of this whirlwind of people coming into the house and this excitement, and then they're leaving and they're talking the entire way out. What's happening in the end is just these men standing around. That's like my experience of my father and brother. It's just my mom and my sister and I leave and they're like, whoop. And I love that about them. And right after that, Timothy, you do something that I couldn't put on screen.
Really?
Yeah. The minute I cut off, like literally to the frame, right after that, you go, Wah!
It was a choice. No, I'm kidding.
So I was like, Nick, do we have one more frame? And he was like, nope.
You said one more frame, editor.
Yeah. And I was like, is there one more frame?
Sorry.
And no, it's
You could have froze me.
It's great. I could have froze you.
Correct me if I'm mistaken. This is the vest that's like the one I wear the most.
This is the one you wear the most. We have a bunch of vests that actually Saoirse ends up wearing at different points. They end up switching vests the whole movie because they were, their androgynous other half, which is something that Jacqueline invented with the two of them. And then you would always take your jackets off because you liked your billowy sleeves.
Yeah. I'm not sure why.
You didn't want to be encumbered by a jacket.
The costume designer, Jacqueline Durant, she's an incredible costume designer. And I don't know, I find that you work with somebody who's an excellent head of a department in movies, or I guess just in life, and then you realize like how good people can be at that job, kind of thing, and egoless.
She's a very emotional costume designer. She always comes at it from an emotional angle, and I've been working with her since I was like 12.
That's right.
Oh, really?
That's true.
Yeah.
She did
On Atonement and Hannah.
Yeah.
And now this. And for me, it was very helpful to know that like the other girls had to wear a corset and I didn't. And Jo like chooses not to wear a hoop or sometimes even an underskirt. And so with the result, she just had this like freedom of movement and fluidity, and I could, you know, walk like a boy, and I could slouch, and I could, you know, do the Laura Dern hand move. So yeah, it all helped. Colour is always something that's very important. Like everybody has their colour.
Amy has her blue skirt, which is her color. Saoirse, as Jo, has this red cape. And Emma, as Meg, always has green. And they have these specific colors. And this is hyper nerdy, but this green scarf that Emma's wearing, I remember the first time Jacqueline showed it to me, and I thought, that is too bright. That feels like chartreuse. And she said, no. In the 1850s, they just figured out how to dye fabrics really outrageous colors. And we think of the past as being monochromatic because all of the photographs are sepia, but actually they were dyeing their ball gowns like bright orange or bright yellow and bright, you know, like these really bright electric colors. And so this woven scarf, which she had made, is actually with the dye that they would have had at the time. And then the other beautiful thing that I'm going to point out is Laura's colors, which is a little dimmer here, but all of Laura's costumes weave the colors of the four girls in her costumes, because she is all of them in one, and different parts of her spirit went into each girl. And the same was true of her hair, that she had little pieces of each of them in her hair. And it was just those kinds of details of character that, to me, it's like what helps me believe in this world that we're making. And also, I make movies that I hope some nerdy lady will watch it 20 times and pick up on all this stuff, and I want them to have lots of goodies. Anyway, I tried to keep things together as much as possible, but there was no way with the schedule, we were doing 4 seasons, 10 years, 8 plot lines, and there was no way to keep all of those in order. We did shoot the end at the end.
On schedule.
On schedule.
No reshoots.
No reshoots. But they had to keep all of these things in their mind, so they always had to know where they were, because we were flipping back and forth much more. I wish it was the 70s when we could just be like, see you in springtime.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go to Big Sur and work on my pottery.
Wait, who inspired that?
It's Richard Burton.
Okay.
There's like a weird...
Really?
Yeah, there's like
You did pottery?
There's a Richard Burton, Elizabeth Taylor documentary about that movie they did in Big Sur. And he's like, just drink a jug of wine and work on your pottery. Anyway.
That is you.
I think we should start.
I just pictured like Ghost, like the scene from Ghost and Richard Burton's just...
And you could just see Elizabeth Taylor like, Richard!
That's where it came from.
Could we do the scene
Richard,
from
you
Ghost?
bastard.
Okay.
Well, back to work.